Welcome to the Honey Pot.
Hi.
My name's Abby Tarpey. I'm a video editor and interviewer here. So if you could just introduce yourself.
I'm Vanessa Carrasco and I'm 15. I live in New York City and I just recently starred in Life by Ella playing Ximena.
Amazing. So to kind of go off of that, what was your journey of getting into acting like?
Oh God, it was so crazy. So I started off as a model since I was like one. Like my parents put me at like obviously like I was one, so I don't remember. And I've just been doing modeling for like a really long time until once I hit like 7 or 8. I started in commercial stuff, but my agency also dealt with like film and TV. And I pretty much auditioned for them. And I auditioned twice, once when I was 7, once when I was 8. When I was 8, I got in. And that's when they started sending me on like commercial stuff. And then eventually they started sending me on small auditions for acting, one-liners. And then when I was 9, I got like this one line little thing on the movie called Irreplaceable You. It's on Netflix. I mean, obviously by the time I was like, oh my God, guys, I'm an Irreplaceable You, but now it's like, that was something little. But that pretty much kickstarted my career. And after that, my agents, saw that I had potential to do like a lot more. And I started taking a lot more acting classes. And I was just getting a lot more comfortable with that world because I was so used to just like staying still in front of a camera and like smiling. So after that, I just started getting a lot more auditions and I started booking stuff. And yeah.
Has it always been those specific types of mediums, so like modeling and acting, or if you ever tried any other artistic mediums, so like photography or fashion or illustration, things like that?
Um, I mean, I feel like fashion does kind of go into modeling because, when I would model, it would be for fashion brands and stuff like that. I've never really tried photography. That sounds really cool, but I feel like I would get bored of it really fast. um, and I do play. I've played classical piano for 10 years, and I've just played bass for a year. So I do like music a lot, but I'm not exactly a singer. So I feel like I'm more of like an acting like drama type of person rather than like a performative art like musical theater singing type of thing. So I just stick with that.
I get that. I've always been interested in kind of like the integration of arts because like everything overlaps in some way. So it's
Mhm.
always interesting to me what people do other than their main thing. Since you talked about music, I do have to ask really quickly, what are some of your favorite artists, like musical artists?
Oh my Lord. Every single time someone asks me this question, it's so hard because I like so much. I like rock music. I do. But I like all genres, but rock is like definitely my favorite. I like R&B. And then artists, I'd say I like Steve Lacy, Foo Fighters, um, Tyler the Creator. Oh my God, this is so hard. I like literally all of the 2000s like rock punk music. So I mean, like, don't shame me, but I like a little healthy dose of Fall Out Boy and stuff like that. So yeah, Queen.
I love that. So going back to acting and kind of like the entertainment industry in that way, I'm curious how you feel streaming has impacted the entertainment industry.
It's a lot different nowadays. It's you don't get auditions for pilots anymore. I mean, from an actor's point of view, I mean, okay, let me start from like a normal point of view because I'm not acting all the time. Like I'm still a normal kid. I go to school, I come home, I eat dinner with my parents, but it's been years since I touched cable TV. It's like, who is she? And in an actor's perspective, now literally everything you get is some sort of streaming service. And if it's Disney, it's not like Disney Channel, like on the TV, it's like Disney Plus, and then like Apple TV Plus and Netflix and all of those. And there's like some of them, they make a lot of shows, so you get more auditions for those brands, but then some of them they don't make as much, as more like a one hit thing that they're hoping that will make it really big. So yeah, I feel like it doesn't really affect an actor too much, but does affect me when I want to like watch Survivor on CBS and it's like, oh no, I gotta wait until it comes out on Amazon a day later.
Survivor's such a good show
I
too.
love Survivor so much.
Are you the type of kid that like you've seen every season or did you just get into it?
Well, I was born in 2007, so obviously I haven't seen it since 2000, like before those seasons. But like ever since I was a baby, I like me and my parents would just watch like each season as it came out. And then I mean, I watched Borneo back in like 2015, the first season, and then like starting like a year ago, we started watching like the older seasons too, so like Cook Islands, Micronesia. I like Parvati.
Parvati's such a classic. I sorry, this is such a sidetrack. Um, but I'm the same. I'm born in '02. So it's like I caught up on the first few seasons, but I obviously don't remember a lot of them or like wasn't there. But I don't know if you've seen Philippines with Malcolm.
I know of Malcolm. I didn't see the Philippines though. I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, he was Philippines. The one right after Philippines, I think it was like Fans versus Favorites
Uh,
and then Game Changers.
yeah.
But Parvati is such like a classic character. She's so fun. Um, anyways, getting back to it. When you're acting, do you know, because I know for pilots, this isn't like on my list either. It's kind of following up with the streaming. Now that streaming has kind of changed that audition process, do you know what you're going in for, or is it more kind of exclusive of like, you're auditioning for a Disney Plus show, but they don't tell you what?
It really depends on the project because some stuff they want to keep confidential. So you'll get like an audition that's like untitled, and then whoever produces the show, like so if like Bob Ross produced the show, it'll be like Untitled Bob Ross Show. And like sometimes they give you, well, most of the time they give you like a storyline and the characters and stuff. But I don't know ahead of time what I'm getting. It really comes up like I'd be in school, I'd check my email, I'd be like, oh, I got an audition, gotta go. But I feel like lately what I've been getting more is a lot of like streaming services stuff. That's at least for when I'm going for TV shows. When it comes to movies, it's a whole different thing because a lot of movies are being made and they don't exactly belong to a streaming service. They belong in the AMC theater. So,
Yeah. Um, so talking about shows, you are starring in a new show. So
mhm.
could you kind of introduce the viewers to it? So what it's about, how many episodes, what they can expect when they go to watch it?
So the show is Life by Ella. It's on Apple TV Plus. There are 10 episodes. And it pretty much centers around a girl who has recovered from cancer and how she's navigating back to school. Keep in mind, we're like, this is like middle school, not high school. I know we're all high schoolers when we're playing it, but when in the show, we're in middle school. And she deals with a lot of struggles because people don't exactly see her as how she used to be. It's just like the cancer girl and stuff. And it also deals with like the people around her and their point of view. So it's not just like her focus and it's not just from her point of view. It's like everyone's input, that like everyone important in her life kind of has a voice in this show. And it deals through her relationships and what falls apart, what comes back together. And she has like a lot of like revelations during this period of time that she's back in school and she's like starting her activities again. And it's a mix between like some parts are really really sad and I'm like I'm tearing up when I'm watching it, and then some parts are really funny. So I in my opinion I think it's perfect for kids. Like I watch it, I thoroughly enjoy it, and it also has a good message. So
And with heavy topics of struggles in friendship, but then also cancer and health concerns and things like that, um, how did you go, like, what's the process like to depict those harder topics?
like on set, like
Hmm.
before we do it. So obviously like on set everything is absolutely crazy, but we do have like certain people in the crew who are responsible for helping us like prepare for the scene. We're not just going to walk in blindly. So after we memorize it, we go through it a bunch of times, make sure we get it solidified. And then me and the people I work with, so Lily Brooks O'Brien, she's awesome, and Artian, we kind of talk about it together, and we also talk with the directors and the producers, Tim and Jeff, and they give us a lot of insight because they wrote the thing, they produced the thing, like they did it all. So they have a clear vision for how they want it to be, and us as actors, we have to take what they want, we have to like really like mix it in with our skills. And at first it's really hard, like the first couple I'd say weeks on set, it was so hard doing everything so fast because normally when you have an audition you have time to think about it by yourself, but this time it's with other talented actors and it's with like someone else's vision in mind, and they're like telling you like do it like this, think about this. And I don't know, we all just have like one big group convo of how it's supposed to be. And then after we do a couple takes, they'd always give us like a little bit of corrections because not everything's perfect on the first try, and that's how we make it work.
That's great. Whenever, because you've obviously been playing Ximena for a minute, do you
Mhm.
relate to any of her struggles?
For sure. That's a really hard question because I have not have a friend had a friend who's gone through cancer. So, because I feel like her whole, thing in the show is that she pretty much left Ella while she had cancer. And at the beginning, everyone's watching, it's like, oh my God, like that's terrible. Why would she do that? But then we realize it's because she was really scared to see her best friend sick. And if the worst happened, she wouldn't want to go through that. So it was easier for her in her mind to distance herself, which I can't really say that I've been through that struggle, but I don't know. I feel like that's a struggle and like a choice that a lot of people do have to make. I think I'm a little bit young for that. And I mean, in terms of Jimena's whole personality, I mean, I think that's why I booked the role because I kind of do have her personality. So
Period. Whenever, how do you think, I cannot read. How do you think this series compares to other pieces depicting friendship, hardships, or health concerns? What sets it apart?
honestly, there's a lot of shows and movies about, kids with cancer. I mean, you search it up, there's going to be a billion. But this show, it not only like I know I mentioned this before, but it doesn't just focus on her point of view and also her like with the cancer. It's not like her during her cancer treatment. It's more about like after she recovered and when she's in the next chapter of life, her second chance. It's like it goes through her points of view and what she's thinking now that she's moved on from that. She doesn't really know like who she is without cancer was a part of her and she wants to let it go, but she also doesn't want to let it go. And throughout the whole series it's just like it just keeps building on and on and on to that. It's honestly crazy like how many new like I don't know how many new thoughts you can think about that made absolutely zero sense, but I swear it's really only explainable if you watch it. And she just has a lot of revelations about her life and other people's life and even basic things like her friends and stuff like that. And then it also has a lot of takes on every single character. So it has my character, Artion's character, Aiden's character, her parents. It's everyone's take, and I think that just adds so much to the show that other shows, I mean, if they do it, they do it, but I just feel like a lot of shows don't have that.
Yes, and kind of looking at the diversity of the topics in the sense that it's sort of coming of age because you guys are younger dealing with very difficult topics, but then also like we've been talking about friendship, health issues, kind of like the balance of friends and the importance to yourself. How do you think those genres all blend to create kind of the unique side of the show?
I feel like that, I'm not trying to brag, but that side of the show is really portrayed through me and also through Archie. And it's like that side is portrayed in the flashback parts when she still had cancer, and that was like the friendship vibe between her and Artion, where she was like extremely sick and not feeling okay, and it's Artion by her side. And also Jackson's character, um he also had cancer and they were like in the hospital like at the same time, so there's definitely a nice friendship dynamic there. And she just makes new friends along the way. And then with me, like I kind of my part comes in when she's done with the cancer and I'm like, oh, I'm back. And I decide to make a comeback in her life, and we both kind of have to work through that and through what happened and our differences. And yeah.
That's great. And kind of going back, we've been talking about when you got casted and then also like what the show's like now that it's been done. So when comparing what you imagined when you were originally casted to now starring in the final product, how did the two compare?
I auditioned for this like a year before, no, not a year. I auditioned for the show in May 2021. I had red, short hair, like bright red, like Ariel red. I remember I had like acne all over my face, and it just like the auditions just kept on going and going and going until like late October 2021. And that's when I got the role. And honestly, what I imagined it to be was more of like an Alexa and Katie type beat. I mean, obviously with like, because Alexa and Katie's a sitcom. This isn't a sitcom. This is more of like a dramedy meant for kids too. And I really honestly, it's hard to know what you're expecting because you have like an image in your mind, but it's like an image with me and only me. Like I didn't imagine, like I didn't know Lily Brooks O'Brien would be starring in this. I didn't know Artian Celestine would be starring in this. So it was just, it's really hard to imagine what it could be like. But of course you have a little idea. And then, even when you're on set, like I'm not there for when other people are doing their scenes. I'm only there for when I'm doing my scenes. And it's a set around you. So it's really hard to imagine because it could be like it's supposed to be like, there was this one scene with me and Artian where we were in an escape room and it was supposed to be like this huge castle room, but it was actually like the size of my room. And there was like cameras in our faces and microphones and like there was no ceiling and there was no wall. And it was really trippy. But then when you watch it back, it's like, oh, I actually understand. Wow, okay, I wasn't expecting that. So everything definitely comes together when you watch it. And then like you just like your brain just has like one collective, oh, like that's what it was supposed to be. So I'm pretty sure that's the difference between what I expected versus what I got.
When you first watched the final show, were you surprised how scenes that you were in turned out as well, or just seeing the scenes you hadn't seen?
This kind of like I said before, when it came to like the setting and the set and all of that, that part definitely shocked me. But when it came to the way I talked and the actual scene itself between like me and whoever I was playing with, I kind of expected that because obviously I did it like 40 100 times with them on set. And the camera would move, so it'd be like, oh, okay, so this part they're going to be getting my face, and then the next part they're going to be getting the other person's face, and they're going to be getting both of us. So I can kind of imagine how it was going to be, and it was pretty similar. But I mean, then again, it's one thing to be in the moment, and then it's another thing to like have an actual video of it.
Yeah. And I'm sure for you, it might have been gratifying that that's your first time starring in such a big project.
Mhm.
This is kind of the result of your first large piece of work.
Mhm.
How did that feel to kind of see it for the first time and see it all come together?
Oh man, it was euphoric. It was like I finally don't have to tell people to watch the show and be like, oh, but skip to like 13 minutes and 49 seconds. You're going to see me over there. It was like, I'm like in the show. Like I'm considered like a main character. It's like I'm in the big three. And that just like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like one of those things you watched on the TV and it's like, this must be a dream. Cause it's like, I wasn't like, both of my parents are doctors. Like I have no family members that are in the business. I had no experience with the business before. And like, I went from literally like a week before filming, being at like Six Flags with my best friend to like being on a plane in LA for the first time and like having an apartment and filming and then like seeing it all come together. It was just like all my hard work, like really paid off. So.
That was a beautiful answer. And since we've been kind of talking about where you started, where you're at, do you have any projects in the near future that people could look out for? Maybe projects you want to join if you haven't already?
Hmm. I don't know. What month are we in? We're in October. Pilot season is going to come. But again, like I said before, with the streaming, it's a little bit different now. There isn't exactly a pilot season anymore, but there's been a bunch of holidays. So before this whole thing came out, between the time that it stopped filming and the time that it came out, there was a little bit less auditions because I was more focused on like the press for the show, and I was really back and forth between New York and LA, and it was summertime, and there's stuff like that. And then once school started, there was immediately like so many holidays, and my manager and my agents would be texting me like, oh yeah, like my mom would text them like, oh, any new auditions, and then be like, oh, the holidays. So it's been like that, but I'm still getting auditions and callbacks and stuff, and I'm just happy about it.
That's amazing. So, how I normally like to end interviews, since we are coming close to the end, is I like to say I open the floor, but in this case, I guess I'll say I'll open the Zoom to you. If there's anything that you'd like to tell the people listening, either about where you're at, what you're up to, or maybe in this case, kind of about the show, things they should know about it, anything I might have missed,
Mhm.
the time is yours.
Okay, let's start with the first part. What I'm doing, where I'm at. I'm being normal right now. I'm not like the girl that went to LA to be in a show anymore. I'm more just like in school, the girl that takes, like, because I go to professional performing arts school, so it deals in performing arts, and I'm in the drama major, so obviously I'm just perfecting my craft. And I'm just going to my classes, and then like if I have an audition, I gotta leave early, I go audition. And I've been doing, some press stuff for the show, and I don't know, I'm planning to go to LA sometime soon to go visit everyone, make sure my apartment is okay, like it's still there. And go say hi to some of the people I work with. I'm gonna go say hi to Lily. And that's pretty much what I'm doing. And then about the show, some things to know. It gets sad. There's like one episode, I'm not gonna spoil it, but there's one episode that is pretty sad, and like me and my parents were like in front of the TV. It was crazy. And then that's hard. It's like I'm trying to figure out like things to tell about the show that doesn't like fully spoil it. It does end on a cliffhanger, so there isn't really like an ending to it, so we don't know what's gonna go on. But yeah, I just say be prepared to laugh a lot and be prepared to cry a lot. And also you could watch this with like anyone. I feel like this caters to all ages and genders and stuff. So watch it.
Sounds perfect. Thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
on the Zoom. It was so nice to meet you.
You too.
And obviously we'll link, I assume we can't really link Apple TV down below, but we'll link all your socials and how to access the show. So thank you again.